Hey everybody! This week I want to talk about something a little different. I want to talk about what I think it took to become successful in fishing and how that formula for success in fishing translates to other areas of my life or anyone's life for that matter. So the first thing that you need in order to be willing to sacrifice things to get good at fishing or, that's interchangeable with anything else, is you have to have a very strong motivating factor, a big reason that is going to keep you motivated, keep you going back even when things get hard or you're not catching fish or somebody stole your equipment. Just a good, strong reason that keeps you getting up and keeps you going back. For me, that motivating factor was keeping my family legacy and tradition of fishing alive. I'm a fifth generation angler. So that would mean my great grandfather. When he first came to Hawaii to work on the plantation, he was the one who began this tradition and legacy for fishing, the Hamamoto fishing name. And back then, they fished for sustenance. They fished to survive. And that is a motivating factor to me that is stronger than anything else. And the reason is it's do or die. If you don't eat, you will die. If you don't catch fish, you will not have food. So obviously the motivating factor back then is so much stronger than what I have today. I think that's because even if I don't catch a fish, I'm not going to starve. I can, go to McDonald's. I can go somewhere else and get food. And because my motivating factor isn't as strong as it was for those generations, I needed to make sure that it truly mattered to me that carrying on my family's fishing legacy and name meant something to me, because in order to get good at anything, you're going to have to be willing to put in the time. And basically what that means is you're going to be giving up other things in order to get successful at something. Whether that's, in my case, not knowing very much about movies or TV shows or pop culture as a whole, it allowed me to take that time I would have been spending, watching a movie, consuming something else. And I spent that time at the beach, learning how to fish, understanding the tides, the moons, the currents, understanding all of the things that were fundamental to learning to be a good angler. And I think that it's a huge thing for anything in life. No matter what it is you're doing, if you don't have a strong enough reason to keep on going when times get tough, you're going to give up somewhere along the way, because it's easier. It is so much easier to give up and say, no, I just don't feel like it. Because as a whole, there are times where things get tough. There are times where you're going to question, why am I doing this? For me, that was when my dad and I were going fishing and it was raining extremely hard, and somewhere along the line, our windshield wiper broke, and my dad looks at me and goes, get out of the car. You got to fix that. If not, I can't see and we can't go fishing. And in my head, I'm thinking, why in the world do I want to get out of this car? It's raining. It's cold. I don't want to do it. But in the back of my head, I'm thinking, it'll be worth it. You'll get to the beach. You'll get to go fishing. Fine. I'll get out of the car. I'll fix the windshield wiper. And if it wasn't for my stronger desire to go fishing than it was my desire to stay warm and comfortable in the car, I probably wouldn't have done what it took to get out of the car and fix the windshield wiper so we could carry on with our trip to the beach. And I think it sounds really funny, but that's true. Whether it's getting up every day to go to work, starting a business, going to the gym, anything, you have to have a motivating factor, or at least maybe discipline to just keep on going, because there's going to be times where you just don't feel like doing something. And that's normal. So making sure your passion, your drive, your discipline, your why is stronger than all of that is what's going to lead you to be successful. The next thing that I believe got me to where I am in terms of fishing and other areas of my life is mentorship. And what I believe mentorship is having somebody that is able to get you to truly think about how things are happening and analyzing what you need to do to get better. To me, a mentor isn't somebody who just sits there and gives you the answers. I think the best mentors are people who allow you to truly think and analyze how come something happened and helps you to work through figuring out a solution or a path that you can take to make sure that doesn't happen again, or helps you to maybe think for yourself and understand the thought process it takes to analyze a situation and figure out what you could have done better and where you went wrong. I don't believe a mentor is somebody who just gives you answers. To me, that's not helpful because it doesn't allow you to learn the skills necessary to do it for yourself. It's just like that really, an ageless quote of teach a man to fish and you'll feed him for a lifetime. It's something that's so similar. You need to be able to learn the skill and be able to utilize that skill and apply it to your life to be successful. My dad is my fishing mentor. And I believe that, as a parent, that's probably something all children experience, and they, take advice, take feedback from their parents. But what made my father my role model or my mentor when it came to fishing was the fact that he would just tell me very basic things. I lost a fish and I'm, mad about it. I'm angry. And he would look at me and go, why did that happen? And that would be all he told me. And for the longest time, I would be upset. He didn't help me. He just told me, why did that happen? And as I got older and as that continued to happen, I finally sat down and thought about it. I said, what did I do wrong? Because I cannot control what the fish did, but I can control what I did. So how can I do something differently so I don't lose another fish, so I don't end up in that same situation? And that thought process that my father taught me is what allows me to just sit down and analyze why something went wrong, whether it's fishing, whether it's anything else in my life, and knowing that I have to take accountability because, yeah, I cannot control the fish, but was there something I could have done to make the situation better, to change the outcome? And sometimes the answer is no. There's absolutely nothing you could have done. And if that's the situation, well, now you got to move on and solve the next problems, accomplish the next goal. And that's something that's priceless to me. That mindset of holding yourself accountable and asking yourself, why did that happen? And truly trying to figure out what it is that you could have done differently. A lot of people ask, hey, how do I get a mentor? How do I approach somebody and ask them for help? And for me, what I think is there's so many people out there that are successful, and you want to be able to find somebody that not only you respect, but somebody that has a little more experience than you, let's say. So they're able to help you through the roadblocks and the obstacles that you're currently facing. For me, what I've learned is in order to get assistance for somebody or to feel comfortable asking for help, you have to first know that you've put in the time and effort to try and solve your problem. If you didn't put any thought into it, it's kind of like a waste of time to go and ask somebody else for their opinion, because really you didn't do the legwork to get an answer. You didn't do the legwork to try and solve it. There are going to be times where you cannot solve a problem by yourself, and that's fine. But being able to at least show that, hey, I tried these 3 things. It didn't work for me. Do you have any advice on what else I could possibly do? That's a great way to start off the conversation, because nobody wants to basically waste their time trying to help you if you weren't even trying to help yourself first. I hope that these three things made sense to you, and I hope that I'm able to help you change your thinking in a way. I don't believe that success happens on accident. I believe that it's something that is a formula, and each person needs to figure out their, inputs for the formula. But I really do think that finding a motivating factor, having mentors, and basically putting in the time and effort is the key to success for anything. I don't think it's isolated just to fishing. So I hope you all enjoy, and I will see you next week.